These videos are brought to you by the Osceola Council on Aging, serving all generations, and Graduate Nutrition and Culinary Department at Keiser University. This is an example of a food box you would receive from your local food pantry. Chef is going to demonstrate how you can best maximize the ingredients and make some nutritious, tasty meals. We purchased 5 items that were not in the box: an onion, garlic, soy sauce, celery, and sesame seeds. These items were purchased for a little over $7. So now I'll turn it over to Chef.
Hi, I'm Chef Vatkivoy. This is Keiser University Center for Culinary Arts Kitchen. We will be making what I call chicken shepherd's pie using the ingredients from the box. So typically a shepherd's pie would have a traditional innards from lambs and red meat and so on, grind up to put into the pot. So we're going to use what we have and use some potato thickeners to thicken our sauce, and we use some chicken soup to add a little bit of liquid into our ingredients. So we'll start out with using items that we purchased, which is fresh garlic and celery, okay? So what we're gonna do is mash the garlic and then chop it up. It doesn't have to be really fine, just gonna make sure you get rid of the peel. Okay, so you peel the garlic, and what we're gonna do is just cut it really fine. And just kind of rough cut it that we have. This adds a nice depth of flavor from all the ingredients that we find in the box. And go ahead and cut the ends part, because usually that has a lot of dirt that you don't want to put in your dish, and the tip as well. And we're going to cut this evenly and cut these into strips, and we're going to dice them up. And once you dice these up, we're going to go ahead and saute them up or cook them in high heat so it kind of brown off a little bit to add the sweetness will come out on this particular vegetable, on celery. That's all the cutting we need to do. Very simple cooking, because everything's already done for you in the cans that comes from the box. So we'll go ahead and heat this up. I'm going to wait for the heat to sizzle the pan a little bit. So this time you just need a little bit of oil to sweat the vegetables that we're using. So I like to add the garlic first. And then I'll add my celery. You can already hear it sizzling. That means the pan is nice and hot. And we'll stir it up just a little bit. And this just, you want to make sure that it's nice and thick and hearty. When you spoon it out and put it on a plate, it doesn't fly all over the place. So we're going to add our canned vegetables and some canned potato that came into the box today. We're going to go ahead and strain all the liquid out of it before we add it to it. So we're looking for a little bit of like translucent, almost see-through on the celery. We know that it's broken down a little bit. I'm going to strain our vegetables. Getting all that liquid out of there. Add that to the pan. We have some potatoes. And you don't have to put all the potatoes in there if you don't want to. We'll put just maybe half the can, and then we'll save the other can for to make other dishes from the box, okay? So nice and hearty. There's a lot of vegetable, a lot of potato in there, and you can hear it sizzling. Cook it down so the liquid kind of removes, help with the thickening process of this particular dish. one item, chicken. We're going to add our chicken in there, but we need to make sure that we take the liquid out of that chicken as well. So all our flavor is going to come from the canned soup. Go ahead and add that to the dish. And you can't really go wrong with chicken soup in the can, especially Campbell's. Campbell's got a lot of flavor in their can. And with all these ingredients, it's just going to make it really hearty. I'm going to add our canned soup, cream of chicken soup. It's nice and thick. That's what we want. We'll stir this around a little bit. Now, if it's too thick, you can always add a little of the 1% milk that came in the box to thin it out just a little bit. And you can always adjust the seasoning by adding salt and pepper as needed. So this is cooking really nicely. So you don't want to cook this all the way through because you're going to actually bake this in the oven to brown off the potato. So the next thing we'll do is start making the potato topping for the shepherd's pie. So what we have is powdered potato. And believe it or not, chefs use these a lot in a lot of the kitchen to help thickening things up, or quick mashed potato that they don't have to work so hard to do. So go ahead, add this to your mixing bowl. And we'll add our milk to thicken it up a little bit. So we're gonna go ahead and stir this to see we get a nice, good looking mashed potato. So for shepherd's pie, what they typically do is add just eggs or egg yolks to the potato, because when you bake it off, it's going to be a nice brown top with the egg within the potato. Okay, it's still a little dry, so I want to go ahead and add a little bit more of my 1% milk. So it's getting there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and crack these eggs. I just want to use the yolks. So I brought 3 just in case, but I think we really just need 2. I'm gonna go ahead and crack the eggs. So I usually crack my egg and separate the yolks just by picking it up, taking the whites, and just put it right in there. And you can save this for your fried rice, or you can, a lot of times you'll see ramen noodles that goes into the box. You can use this to make a stir-fried or lo mein noodle with this as well. Okay, and go ahead and mash the egg yolks in here. Looks like it's a little bit dry, so I'm gonna go ahead and add a little more of this 1% milk. Okay, now it's time to go ahead and prepare our shepherd's pie for baking. Since I'm a chef, I like to kind of make things a little easier for you to prepare this. So I know using less tools, all I'm using right now is a knife, mixing bowl, and this is going to be my container for our dish. So we're going to add this to the dish. And this is enough to make 4 servings already. And this is going to bake up nicely. You're going to put some potato on top. Okay, make sure it's packed nice and evenly, so that every scoop that you get is going to be even amount of potatoes and chicken and vegetables. Okay. Now you can just take a spoon or tongue and kind of press down on the potato. And then we'll bake this off until it gets to about 165 degrees in the middle, and until the potato turns nice and brown.